going to take forever.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You may have remembered last round where we had not one, not two, but three games on because they kept constantly ending too quick.
Yeah.
All right, so on the left for this round 4 match, we've got Jonathan Wright playing Esper Control, breaking away from his usual American Flash deck. And then on the right, it's Garrett Meadows playing Junk as usual, but this build is a Junk Control deck featuring Planeswalkers.
Land. Farseek. So Garrett's going to win this one.
That's the old adage. Whoever resolves the Farseek on turn 2 has a 60% chance to win. So that's exactly where Garrett wants to be. And to be quite honest, I don't know exactly what Jonathan's deck includes. I mean, obviously there's a certain amount of removal and counter spells and planeswalkers and sweepers and detention spheres. But the specific, those 5 to 8 flex slots in any control deck, I don't know exactly what they are. Given that it's Jonathan, I can only imagine there's some number of Sphinx's Revelation, and main deck Sin Collector from Garrett pretty good in this spot. And it's going to whiff, actually. 3 lands, a Detention Sphere, a Resto Angel, and a Snapcaster Mage. And then what you're seeing there is Jonathan Wright taking a drink out of what is a family-sized Gatorade.
He found at a dollar store, but not a Dollar Tree. It's a...
Now, dollar store is everything's a dollar, or a dollar store is everything's an increment of $1.
So is it
Dollar Tree is
Dollar General, or...
I believe it was Dollar General.
Some of them, everything is an actual dollar, and some other things...
I've definitely bought like $8 tables at like a Dollar Tree.
$8 tables. Yeah. I'm sure that was built to last.
No, I just needed it for a summer.
I'm just kidding. Alright, so Sin Collector's piling in here. I went ahead and knocked him down to 18 life, but I guess he could flash into Snapcaster and trade with it.
For Angel.
Yeah, he can Angel here.
I mean, we didn't really see what he had because we were talking.
No, I did. He has a Restoration Angel, a Snapcaster Mage, a Detention Sphere, and whatever card he just drew.
Whatever card.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Seems like a very odd choice here. What are you worried? What are you trying to play around?
I don't like that one.
I think Garrett's just...
You're really not worried about 2 life.
I think Garrett... But at some point you have to get a clock down, I imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jonathan's deck could be... I don't know. Jonathan plays mid-range everything. There's a good chance that it could be more of a mid-range deck than a control deck, you know what I mean?
I mean, I assume Jonathan knows what he's doing, but still.
Jonathan was 1 round away from top 8ing a Star City Open, which doesn't really help me in this situation because you were 1 round away from top 8ing a Star City Open.
Although, big tournaments-wise, I think Jonathan has equal or probably better results than me.
So here we see one of the few ways to deal with Obsidat, far and away, obviously choosing the away and forcing Garrett to sack a creature, but in response, Garrett is going to flash in a Restoration Angel.
And not blink the Obsidat.
Yeah.
So that the Obsidat still swings in for 5.
Okay. And just sacking the Restoration Angel instead.
Yes.
What was he doing there?
Is he drown yarding?
Milling himself?
No.
I don't think he has a drown yard.
Thought Scour, maybe?
Yeah, Thought Scour.
Okay.
Also,
People still play that?
Yeah, he's not really playing control deck as he's playing it. It's more of a mid-range deck, really. It's a Thoughtcaster deck, Snapcaster deck. I wouldn't be surprised if there's Runechanter's Pike in this deck, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
It's got it up like the Esper Flash.
Yeah, I remember you played that one time.
Yeah, he's definitely played Esper Flash before.
Yeah. It's pretty
Maybe it is Esper Flash. I don't know. The differentiation between Flash and not Flash are somewhat irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
So we're going to flash back far and away, forcing the sack of creature, and this time Garrett doesn't have a Restoration Angel to spoil that plan, but he does have another Obsidat. So Jonathan's dealt with 1. It took him 2 spells to do it, but But Jonathan does have the ability here to attack now for 5 a turn and gain 5 life if he wants to, as he does have an active Vault of the Archangel. But he...
obvious on Hinge Island.
He might, that might not be a race that he can win here. Well, I guess that's perfectly fine in this spot. Well, no, because you're taking 7 damage a turn.
Yeah. You're eventually going to lose to the 2 4-point life swing.
Yeah, you're on a 4-turn clock, and it's going to take Jonathan 5 turns to attack into it. And this also assumes that no one adds to the board at all, which I think is probably...
Play a Starve Insanity, something like
to make a note to myself to not include Chad's match from round 3, so I don't have to deal with the drag tusk on 4 lands. I don't know if he did or not. I hope he didn't.
I don't think he would cheat on purpose. So.
Oh, he definitely wouldn't do that. We don't... I can safely say there's nobody in this building right now that would cheat on purpose.
Right. Because someone's not here. Yeah.
There's one person that would, yes. I think we're all thinking of the same person.
Yeah.
Who will remain nameless for the benefits of myself. So Obsidian phases back in. Garrett using a die to remind himself of that, not unlike a pact. There is a Lingering Souls. Jonathan obviously not having the Dissipate, otherwise I'm sure he would have done that.
So in block, gain 1 from life.
And then Azorius Charm before damage. And this is not some kind of revolutionary play, but some might ask, why is he blocking and then charming? Obviously, if Garrett has some kind of trick or something that would negate the effect of the Azorius Charm, at least you're still not...
well, he restos the other.
Yeah, Garrett's draw has been pretty solid in this game.
Yeah.
I think it's funny, too, that I'm calling these decks Esper Control and Junk Planeswalkers, and I think it's Esper Flash and Junk Midrange. But I don't think it really matters.
Well, Garrett said you put like 10 walkers in or something like that.
Yeah, he did tell me it was called Junk Planeswalkers.
But no, it's literally just Resto Angels and Obsidians.
Don't forget Lingering Soul.
And Lingering Soul, yeah. It's just those bunch of copies of those 3 cards and a bunch of land.
I think he's played 2. Has he played 2 Obsidats in both games that we've seen him play?
Thanks.
He's been on camera for about 15 minutes tonight and played 4 Obsidats. It's a pretty good percentage. So Jonathan up against it here at 3 life. He's at effectively 1 life, given that the Obsidat's going to phase in next turn and drop him to 1. He's got an active Sorin, a Vampire token from Sorin, a Snapcaster, and a Restoration Angel, facing down 3 flyers. So he's going to take 2 in the air and 2 from the Obsidian trigger. He can only block 2 ground creatures. So he's going to serve in with this Vampire and a Snapcaster Mage. And then he's going to activate his Vault of the Archangel? Is this a mistake that Garrett's making? Or
Activate Vault and then...
My question is there a need to block here at all?
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I think
He might not know about the vault.
I think that now that he's offered this up, you have to activate the Vault. Because you go up to 5, you kill the Restoration Angel, you make a 1/1 Vampire, block Obsidat, then you eat one of the tokens, and you only go down... No, you die, don't you? No, because he's going to gain life as well.
Yeah.
So I think no matter what line of play Jonathan chooses here, he's fine. I think Garrett probably made a mistake in blocking here. He may not have known that the Vault was active. Or he may have some other line of play that I'm missing, but I don't really think that 1 life mattered all that much. Wow. Doesn't activate Vault. Makes a Vampire.
Vampire dies. And the other one, right?
Right. Maybe Garrett didn't actually end up blocking.
Oh, maybe we were waiting for Garrett to decide if he wanted to block or not.
Okay.
The Attention Sphere is the
Souls.
Yeah. Okay.
Obsidian goes in, Jonathan 1, he can live.
He can still activate Vault though, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
he can
So I
activate.
can. Yeah.
So he can gain 4 life here.
And try and kill everything.
Yeah.
Block like this. Activate Vault.
Stuff happens.
Activate Vault back. Because Garrett also has a Vault.
Okay.
So everything's going to die.
Garrett gains 8.
And Jonathan gains 4. Here,
Flashbacks.
did he go up to 6? Was he supposed to be at... He was up to 6. He was at 1, wasn't he?
I thought he was at 3.
No, he was
I
at
don't
1.
know. Oh,
He was at 3. Onto came back in. He went
Okay,
down to 1.
okay.
But he went up to 5.
No,
So
he
I
didn't
double.
just get that emblem. He just now got the emblem.
I wonder if they missed the count there, but
Yeah.
again, I'm not... I can only do so much.
Wasn't me.
It's a Garrett.
Wolf token. Yep.
So Garrett make a wolf, end of turn, Sphinx's Revelation. So this was the play that Jonathan had in mind. Well, no. He just drew that Sphinx's Revelation, obviously. So this game's getting grindy as all get out.
Yeah.
I am glad that he did gain a bunch of life, because now if there was a 1-point life discrepancy, it's less likely that it will affect the outcome.
Yeah.
So Jonathan untaps with 6 fresh cards in his hand, adds a Moreland Haunt, which is pretty relevant here as well. With an active Sorin, a Sorin emblem, a Snapcaster Mage, and a Vampire token. So we're going to activate Sorin. Looks like we're going to make another Vampire. Can you make out any of the cards in Jonathan's hand?
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
I just see some stuff. Some of the other stuff appears to be in things. Alright, so Snapcaster trades with a wolf. This game is just... It's like slogging to the point where it's difficult to keep up with.
Jonathan probably won because he played his Sphinx's Revelation, though.
Well, that is how it works, right? And now, how about this? You have an Obsidian, I have an Obsidian. So now Garrett is up against it. Obviously, just based on the color schemes of these decks, Jonathan's deck much better equipped to handle an Obsidian on the other side of the field than Garrett. Not a lot of instant speed removal in his deck.
Putrefies. I don't know if he runs them.
I don't know if he does. So the Lingering Souls are going to pile in, and Jonathan's going to make a token with Moreland Haunt to chump one of them out.
So does Garrett sack the Lingering Souls token? Rook's at 2, right?
Grook is at 1.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought he had
It's,
taken
is,
1 from
is
the
it
Vampire.
is it
Oh,
minus
Sorin
1?
Emblem. Yeah. I forgot about the Sorin Emblem. That's how he...
But he does.
But he is still going to trade out his Garrett and the Lingering Souls token to go find another creature. Do you go get an Obsidian to cancel out the other Obsidian?
Maybe.
I mean, I think you might have to do that at this point, but you're still going to lose to this Sorin. Because Sorin's at 3 now, so he's going to get another emblem next turn and start attacking for 6 lifelink every turn.
That's what he does.
And you don't phase him out here, right?
No.
Right.
So Jonathan's Ozdat's going to phase back in after he resolves a Thought Scour here, milling a Geist of St. Traft and another Thought Scour.
Crashing for 6.
2 emblems now. Those life-linking vampire tokens are going to swing the game pretty drastically. Playing a Shockland untap, which is usually a signal of another Sphinx's Revelation, so I think your previous statement about Jonathan winning because he resolved the Sphinx's Revelation is more than likely going to come to fruition here as we see Garrett add to his board with a Thragtusk, but it may be too little too late. And there's the Sphinx's Revelation for 7 cards.
Which means you probably drew another one.
Yeah, just chain them
Or
together.
Snapcaster.
Just chain them together.
Yeah.
So Jonathan untaps in a pretty awesome board state here, with about 1,000 cards in his hand. The only ones I can make out are Shocklands and Innistrad Duels. So one vampire is going to get eaten by the Thragtusk. Jonathan's going to go up to 34 off the life gain and drop Garrett to 17.
And the vampire comes right back.
Keep on crunching, we'll make more, right?
And Jonathan chooses
Yeah.
like 900 cards to
Yeah.
discard.
I'm going to discard all of these lands.
Yeah.
Whoa! Have we ever seen Gideon resolved on camera before? I think it's funny that I ask you to...
Resolved? Well, maybe it's not going to resolve.
Yeah.
But
I also think it's funny because I'm asking you two, like you guys have a comprehensive knowledge of the history of my Magic stream. If I don't know if we've seen a Gideon or not, surely you guys are not going to know.
Yeah.
I don't think we have.
I don't think they have because it's usually a one of in someone's sideboard. But I know Garrett likes to try out saucy one ofs.
So it does not resolve.
Okay. So we've seen a Gideon on stream. We just haven't seen one activated.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it resolve. So we're going to snap back and dissipate. We're going to make a Moorland Haunt token, exiling the Geist of St. Traft. And those Moorland Haunt tokens attack for 3 just as well here. An evasive 3 as well.
Sword's at 2, correct?
Soren is at 2.
This kid. Apparently that guy's new to the stream.
Who are we talking about?
Whoever just said this kid. I have no idea who he's actually.
I'm not really, yeah, I'm not sure as well, but meanwhile, Jonathan attacks with the team in the Beast token trade to the Snapcaster Mage, and Garrett goes down to 8, Jonathan up to 40, and it's a 1-turn clock, so Garrett's going to need to add to his board in a way that prevents this onslaught, or more than likely just goes on to... that was funny, what you just saw there. Jonathan was pointing out that there was a Garrett Relentless in the token pile. But then Jonathan realized that those were Garrett's actual deck cards, not the pile, not the pile of tokens that I provide for the feature match area. So that's fun.
Why don't you provide Garrett Relentless to the feature match?
I should. Everyone who plays on the Lost Legion feature match receives a complimentary Garrett Relentless. Hey, speaking of complimentary stuff, you check out that playmat there? Pretty slick. You've played on it. Have you played on it before yet, Ian?
Yeah.
It's pretty fun to play on. Thanks to our folks over at inkedplaymats.com for hooking us up with that custom playmat. And remember, you can get all of your custom playmat needs taken care of over there. I believe their custom playmats start at $20 and go up to like $30 or $35 based on exactly what you need. The custom double playmats start at, I believe, $55. And if you think about it, it's just 2 playmats stuck together. So
Yeah.
2 30s make 60, so 55 is actually a discount on that. But head over to inkedplaymats.com. They've got playmats for sale every day, not just custom ones, but you can order additional playmats with some specific art that they have there. And then they do have weekly deals with starting at $10. So make sure to head over to Ink Playmats and support those who support the stream. Also remember to support our friends over at affinityforcards.com. Obviously support your local game store, but for those hard to find cards or for things that you can't find locally, head over to affinityforcards.com and use promo code, I keep saying promo code, but it's a coupon code Lost Legion, all one word, for 5% off your first order. And then that helps support the stream in a small way. So help support those that support the stream. I think that's all of the shameless advertising that I do. But I cannot iterate enough. I know I've talked about this at length before, but the guys at Ink Playmats, when I approached them with this opportunity, prompt, could not be nicer, just extremely professional. I think it looks great. Just gave them some logos, and they even asked me, for input on the design and if I liked it and stuff like that. They could have very easily said no. They could have also said, here, we're going to give you this, take it or leave it. But that is not how they handled it all. They were excellent guys to work with. The guys that run Inked Playmats are players. They were, I believe they're in Oregon or Washington State, I can't remember. And they were just talking about how there wasn't a place where you could get custom playmats. And then one of the guys said, all right, then we're going to look into starting a business, and then that happened. And what's actually interesting, too, is that one of the guys who follows the stream was at Grand Prix Las Vegas, and I posted this to our Facebook page as well. But Ink Playmats had a booth there. And on the sign, the poster that check, here's all the playmats that things that the Lost Legion playmat is on there. And it says great for streaming. So our playmat has made it onto the promotional material for Ink Playmats. But like I said, I cannot. I know I'm not any kind of like a celebrity endorser, like an athlete or something, but I would not endorse a product that I didn't believe in. Because believe it or not, over the course of doing this broadcast, I've been approached by, I don't know, I'd say a half dozen to 10 different websites or YouTube channels or things of that nature who are like, hey, can you want to do a partnership? And I was like, no, not really, I don't. Because I don't, some of it was just not things I was interested in. So Ink Playmats is not that. Ink Playmats is legit. And then the gentleman that runs Affinity for Cards, I know personally, so I can vouch for him. He excellent customer service and very competitive pricing as well. That is one of the things about having a smaller, individually run website, is that you don't have the massive overhead of a company like, people always talk about Star City charges more than anybody else. You know why? Star City has a massive overhead because they have 150 employees and they run a massive weekly tournament series. And thus ends Zach's small business with Zach.
Small business.
Alright, so that took him on Sundays to sideboard, but now we're into game 2. Garrett, having lost the first one on the play, leads off with a Woodland Cemetery.
Which does not bode well. I mean, it doesn't really matter just because this game is going slow, but...
That, and I don't think he has any 1-drops.
Right.
Unless he decides into, like, Duress or Appetite for Brains.
But, I mean, the fact is you would play a Shockland before you would play a Tapland.
Yeah.
Yes, true. Well, no, I don't think you would. Because the Shocklands, you have the option of bringing in untapped later in the game should you need it. But the Woodland Cemetery is going to have... Well, no, you're right.
I was like, where are you going with this?
I was thinking, like Manlands or like guild gates from like, for whatever reason I was treating it like a guild gate. No, you're exactly right.
She's
I mean,
playing
the Scars
Collar.
lands that come in with it, too.
Playing your second land as Cavern of Souls is also a pretty good tell that maybe
but you Farseek into it.
Garrett kept the 2-land Farseek game.
Yeah.
And we'll see. And he's drawn out of it, so he's got the Sun Petal Grove on 4.
I saw the Sun Petal Grove in his opening, so I believe he probably kept a 3-land. But, it doesn't matter.
The Cavern of Souls on 2 was the only one that came into play on tap, so that makes sense. End of turn, Jonathan's going to cycle an Azorius Charm. And Snapcaster back...
Thought Scour.
Thought Scour. Oh no, Appetite for Brains.
Oh, okay.
He had milled appetite on the Thoughtscour. That's a very good.
What is that, a slime?
That's an acidic slime and a Thragtusk.
So,
I take the slime.
I think I take the slime here.
I would take the slime.
yeah.
Because the slime is too brutal.
I mean, if he gets the slime out, he angels it. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
Oh!
Rips.
Rip City. Rip City.
Well,
Rip
game
City.
3.
Yeah.
That was a heck of a top deck, Garrett. Congratulations. Now he's been working on that, his top decking lately.
Yeah.
I mean he's in here on Wednesdays and Thursdays, just casually play testing, trying to improve his top decking skills. And we see it really pay, and that's a prime example of, you work on something, it pays off in the end.
Top deck Nebraska.
Well, I mean, it happens, right?
Yeah. I mean, you must be really putting in some rips here with the top decking.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah.
The Vraska is actually not nearly as damaging as the Stone Rain, though.
No, definitely.
No.
Not as bad.
Still
but
pretty
it
good.
is.
And Ian, we talked about it before. Both you and I started playing in 4th edition. 4th edition contained actual Stone Rain.
Yes.
And then in that same time, Pillage was printed. So there was not one, but two. You could play 8 3-drop Stone Rain effects in your standard deck.
Yeah.
And those won the World
Type 2.
Championship that year.
Type 2 deck.
I collect those World Championship decks, and all the red ones have just like they play Mountain, Wasteland, Ancient Tomb, so they can turn 2 Stone Rain you or Wasteland you.
Flashback and play Lingering Souls, not in that order, but Spirits.
One of those isn't allowed. So we've got Dueling Lingering Souls here.
I miss sinkholes.
I've never cast Sinkhole in my life.
I did.
I think about putting one in my. I think I should put one in my cube, but I don't own one.
For those of us who were not playing in 4th edition, explain what Sinkhole does.
Well, Sinkhole wasn't in 4th edition. They stopped
Okay.
printing Sinkhole, I believe, in
Unlimited.
It didn't even make it to Revise. And it is a 2 black mana sorcery that destroys target land.
Okay, I saw that in a Legacy.
Yeah, they played in Pox and
Smallpox and
yes.
yeah, I saw one.
It used to get played a little bit in Dead Guy L, I think, but not anymore. I think they just play Vindicate now. Instead of...
It's a card that doesn't make any sense, like thematically speaking. Like 2 black, you shouldn't be able to Stone Rain. I told you there was a Pike in this deck. He's not playing Control at all. He's just playing this Esper
It's going
Flash.
back to Esper.
Is that a foil pike?
Probably. It looks a little warped.
I think that was mine. I think I traded it to Scotty.
If it is, that means that it
It
deals
does, yeah, it does
one.
double.
It gets +1/+0 for every card in the graveyard.
It also gets a judge call for being marked.
I don't know. You should have some other foils in there, right? So Pike gets equipped to Spirits, sends in with one of them, and Garrett's just going to chump it out. So we know Garrett has a Thragtusk in his hand, right?
Yes.
He has an active Vraska.
Which is on 6 or
It's on 3.
3? Oh, did he destroy something?
Well, it starts on 5. You Vindicate once down to 2. Then you
Yeah.
No Mercy up to 3. And that's where we stand.
Yeah, what did he Vindicate? The Snapcaster?
Yeah, the snap.
Oh, okay.
So you can swing it with the slime.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
And he kills the Pike.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
It's the right play unless you had a Resto Angel to blink the slime to kill the Pike or whatever.
I think I would have probably No Mercy'd and just avoided the attack and just protect my Vraska and then keep it around, but the argument can be made for this, especially if you have Obsidat,
Yeah.
which we know Garrett always does.
1 of 16 off the that's in his
Yeah,
deck.
Garrett's playing a mono Obsidat control strategy.
I think that's a good plan. I mean, I don't know.
It's not bad.
So Jonathan's life total effectively at 6. He doesn't add to his board state. He doesn't have Lingering Souls in the bin though, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to see here as he flashes back the back half of that one. Leaving himself with 4 mana open. I believe there's a Dissipate in his hand that he's had for quite a while, but never had an instance to effectively cast it. Obsidat's so tough to beat. Why is Obsidat Like, why is it not seeing more play?
2 black, 2 white.
2 black, 2 white.
It's hard to splash. You literally have to be playing something like. I mean, you.
I guess you're right.
You have to play black and white.
You can't shoehorn it into any deck. You build your deck to be an opposite that deck.
Yeah, I mean, you play Esper or you play Junk. And I don't think there's really any other.
I guess that's not a dissipate in his hand.
Black, white, red.
Snapcaster.
Well,
Targeting.
black, white, red.
Snapcaster targeting what? Azorius Charm? Azorius Charm's not any good. Yeah, Snapcaster on Slime. Then trade out Lingering Soul tokens. And then Azorius Charm on the opposite. So pretty effective turn here for Jonathan.
Yeah. And if he still has the dissipate.
Yes, I think he does have dissipate. And if he's been playing, Jonathan's a good player. If he's been lining up the entire time, then he's still up against it here. He still has to beat this Thragtusk, and he does not currently have the board state to do so. But the Lingering Soul token will buy him 1 turn if he can, in fact, counter the opposite as it comes down. Then he can potentially draw something.
Rearranging his lands.
Oh no, it wasn't. I guess he didn't charm it, or he did charm it, but I guess we were wrong. He doesn't have a dissipate.
Yeah, I mean he tapped the 5. Cast off to that. So. All right.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. Really.
Scoop City.
I was updating the life totals and then couldn't help but notice that Jonathan was packing all his cards up, which seems to be a poor strategy. But now that you've explained to me that he is in fact scooping in this one, what's going on in the chat? Zach, it's been too long. I believe that using context clues and seeing that the username is MullyCA, I'm assuming that is Jesse Mully from Canada, who used to watch religiously, but now that I believe there's some kind of work time frame involved or whatever. So good to have you back. One of the longest following stream fans in terms of Facebook fan page like.
That's good.
Someone was asking what the cavern was naming. I don't know. Probably Spirit, which makes it uncounterable.
Opposite that.
Which we probably could have noticed earlier.
He might have done it on Slime since he played it on turn 2 with the Slime in his hand.
Yeah, I mean
maybe,
one or the other.
Or the Beast, or opposite. He did it on something.
So we move to game 3. Not only is this there's a legit judge call out there. I wonder if it's a legit judge call or somebody's just trolling JV. Nope, it was a legit judge call.
Something about Huntmaster.
Yeah, of course, Huntmaster. There's got to be something about Huntmaster, right? So not only is this the decider in this matchup, but it's also the decider in which one of these guys makes it into the top 8.
They're both 2 and 1.
So they're both 2 and 1. So the top 8 is Joseph Deal, who's in here playing Mono Red Blitz, Barry Nelson playing Naya Blitz, Alec Myers playing Junk Aristocrats, Adam Vickers playing Bug Control, and then it's anybody's game. There are 4 pairings of 6 2-win players. So 2 of them are going to get in, and then there's going to be 2 3-2s that make it in, or 2-2s that make it in. Such are the perils of the 24-round tournament.
It's probably another one of those times where I just stand around with my opponent until a bunch of people sit down and start playing, and then we draw. But
well, this is fun. So this is in the chat. I don't know how to pronounce this screen name. Kyo TV, maybe, saying that he or she is a Brazilian player that enjoys the fact that we stream our FNM, and if he or she comes to the U.S., they're going to try to come visit us, which we would more than love to have that happen. Of course, unfortunately, the great state of West Virginia is conveniently located next to nothing. It's not.
No, we're located next to a bunch of places.
Yes.
We are just.
Yes, we are in especially for someone making an international trip who's probably coming to Chicago, D.C., New York, Houston, Miami, or Los Angeles. None of those places are convenient public transport away. The closest is D.C., and that's 6 hours by car.
Yeah.
That's assuming you have a car. and can draw. Well, I mean, I'm talking about like if you're,
Yeah, like
if you're flying in
going
from
on
Brazil,
international.
like
Well, you might be renting a car. Just
maybe.
now.
Well, anyway, I think it's cool.
Also, West Virginia is obviously not a state. It's just western part of Virginia.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's what I've been told since the day I was born.
Yeah, they just wanted to round it up to 50, so they
Yeah.
called it a state.
Meanwhile, these guys have less than 10 minutes to go, but they gotta figure out a way to end this game other than an intentional draw. I guess an intentional draw probably benefits both of them.
Are
I think
they
they
2-1?
I think they can
Intentional
I
draw.
think they can unintentionally draw the top 8, but I'm pretty sure whoever this is, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone else is literally just playing, then I think if they draw, they both
Yes.
get in.
Yes, I think that's true. I don't know. I don't want to think about it too much at the FNM level. I think our shop in the last like 6 to 9 months has gotten way too draw, chop, split, happy.
Well, part of it's just I don't feel like playing after like the third round. So.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it's also why I haven't been playing the last 2 weeks. I literally like have the stamina for like 3 rounds. I just don't feel like playing after that.
Life's tough sometimes, Ian. You can't after a long, hard work week. You can't even muster up the energy to imaginary wizard fight for more than 3 rounds. I mean, how do you even get through the day? It's tough. It's tough. I mean, some people don't.
I don't have the mana to do this.
Some people don't have. Some people don't have food to eat. Some people don't have clean water, and we just don't have the general constitution to survive a 4-round Magic tournament. So, life is
Plus
tough.
top 8.
Life is tough all around the world. All right. So Jonathan is resolving what appears to be one of the most complex forbidden alchemies in the world. Binning, don't know what he kept, but he binned an Azorius Charm, a Watery Grave, and a Far and Away.
There's a Deathwish on.
Yeah, and Garrett does have a Deathrite Shaman. I'm not sure if Garrett's playing the Deathrite Shamans in his main deck or not. He might be playing them.
Doesn't look like. I mean, I've never seen it before.
It's more commonly a sideboard card in standard decks, whereas it's super lucrative in modern with the inclusion of infinite fetch lands. Well, there's a Thragtusk. That's going to meet a Dissipate.
Using the Deathrite because Jonathan pinned some lands.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think Garrett plays some number of them when he plays Junk Reanimator, because you can more consistently use it for mana.
Yeah.
And you are filling your graveyard a lot more often, so you can get value off of your
Grizzly
mulches and
Salvage.
Grizzly Salvages when you mill them.
Right.
Yeah.
But in this deck, which doesn't proactively put anything in the graveyard other than by casting it and letting it die, probably not as lucrative.
I really wish I could use Deathrite's main.
In your Jund deck,
Yeah.
seems too narrow, right?
I've used it before, but I ended up putting them back inside.
5 mana means another Thragtusk? No, Acidic
Fine.
Slime. Taking out the only black source that Jonathan has. He's not going to be able to flash back that Lingering Souls.
That makes me so sad. I just hate that card.
It'll be interesting to see how many of those Garrett sides into as well, because in the Junk Reanimator deck, I know they play 2 to 3 main nowadays, but in Garrett's, homebrew Planeswalkers deck, I imagine they live mostly in the sideboard until matchups like this where they become extraordinarily lucrative.
Godless Shrine, Flashback Lingering Souls. Taking some damage.
Your face is taking damage.
Oh, the
Ooh.
burn! I mean, goodness. What's
It's a good thing
Joseph's
about having
gonna
Joseph in here.
Joseph's going to step out for some pressure bandages and aloe vera to
Yeah.
recover from that sick burn delivered from
There's the
Yen's.
first aid kit right there. I see it. There actually is one.
Is there
in this
really
room.
one in here?
Yeah, right there in the box.
Conveniently located. There's got to be hero clicks in this thing. Oh my God! There's actual medical supplies in it.
Is there aloe vera? Need some medicine.
I've said this before, and I know it's way off topic, but I'm not really interested in learning how to play just because I'm at the point in my life where I play enough games. But HeroClix like really interesting to me. That you have a game that can have like Star Trek, Marvel Universe, and Iron Maiden themed figures all in the same game. Did you draw another slime?
Resto
Or
Angel the
Angel
Slime.
the Slime. So Garrett, even when he's not playing Drunk Reanimator, is playing Drunk Reanimator.
Yeah.
So Jonathan up against it here is Mana Base is taking a considerable hit from not one but two Acidic Slime come into play abilities, down to just 3 mana. He has an army of Lingering Souls, and to be fair, Garrett doesn't really have a lot of presence, but that Deathright Shaman's done a fair amount of work, and well, at least Jonathan isn't missing his land drops. He just can't reach a critical mass.
Cliff says hi.
Cliff Markham in the chat.
Yep.
Well, I am a soulless ginger, but that does not mean my face and my body can take this burn.
Was that in reference to a comment from the chat?
Yes, he will be fine. He is a soulless ginger.
Well, at least the chat's holding their punches, pulling their punches a little bit.
That was Cliff, so.
Oh, well, then if you know Joseph in person, then you're allowed to rail him that hard.
Yeah.
So Jonathan resolved the front half of yet another Lingering Souls. So he has every spirit token available in the shop tonight on his side of the board. And like I said, Garrett is well ahead here. I mean, he's clearly, this is the kind of game plan he would have wanted to draw up. But absent that game-ending threat, be it an Obsidat or a Planeswalker or a Thragtusk, he really doesn't have much of a board to attack.
Yeah.
His attacks aren't super profitable here. Jonathan can trade all of his dudes and still save one and kill both of Garrett's attacking creatures. 3 mana for Lingering Souls? What is that?
Graves of Granite.
Graves of Granite for 0. Super good in this situation. Piling in for 5, knocking Jonathan down to 6. He's going to go ahead and activate the Deathright Shaman to eat the Lingering Souls before Jonathan has a chance to play it on his turn.
And cast another Deathright Shaman.
Ooh.
Miracle that Drowned Catacomb. Supreme Verdict or no, right?
Yeah.
Verdict still gets it done here. Does Jonathan even play Verdict? Remember, halfway through this round, I changed the name of his deck from Esper Control to Esper Flash. So he's gonna try to prolong the inevitable here. Too many tokens.
There's certainly 2 instances of sorceries in the graveyards, right? Yeah.
Oh, he just wants to play this Elbrus Binding Blade.
Oh, it's 8 from nowhere.
Okay, here's an odd situation that's happened, where I believe... So here's what I believe just happened, for those of you who are concerned. Garrett tapped both of his dudes. Jonathan offered to scoop, but Garrett was showing him, no, I'm just casting this Elbrus the Binding Blade, which is like Garrett's favorite pet card that he puts in this deck. Jonathan explained that he could dissipate it. Then Garrett said, well, I still had this Obsidat, to which Jonathan says, I have an Obsidat. And then Garrett said, you were going to scoop, right? And then that's what happened. So Garrett gets a ton off the back of Gaze of Granite for 0, sweeping out all of Jonathan's Lingering Souls token. We're less than 30 seconds left in the round, so hopefully, barring some kind of unforeseen situation outside, we should be going into our next match quickly.
Well, no, not quickly, because we cut the top 8, so he's going to go through all the prizes.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be that bad.
I mean, it's not as bad as having 20 minutes left on the clock.
Nope. Nope, it is not. So this would be an ample time while we've got some downtime for you guys to do me a solid and follow us on our various forms of social media. First off, YouTube. And remember, the username for all of these things is Zach Sells Magic. On YouTube, everything we have ever recorded is up on, I think I have 300 videos on YouTube at this point. Commander deck techs, a cube draft, multiple pre-release drafts, multiple pre-release seals, one legacy tournament that was not very good to watch. Don't go back and watch that. And then an infinite number of FNMs. There's playlists for all of them. Tons of stuff that you can watch. So go follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at Zach Sells Magic. There's news throughout the week. Every time there's a big news event, I update it there. So it's a good place to basically treat all my social media as like a news aggregator. a lot of times I follow that a lot closer than most people, so you can get up to date. And then just various whims and witticisms from me throughout the week, as well as information about the giveaways and updates on the stream feature matches every night. Obviously, if you're watching on Twitch, you know where the channel is, but make sure to click the follow button, which is below and to the right of the video screen on the new layout, and above and to the below and to the left on the new layout, and above and to the left on the old layout. And you'll receive an email notification anytime we go live. So if we do something that isn't FNM, you'll get an email so you know that we had something unscheduled. And then finally, the main thing to do to help us out is go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/SexCellsMagic. Content updated every day. I think this week I've updated maybe like 5 times a day with like relevant news stories, because there's a lot of stuff going on and just information about the stream, fun pictures, stuff like that. Goodies, it helps us out. Does it cost you anything? No, it doesn't. So why not do it, right? If you don't do it, I'll send Joseph to your house, send Pouring to your house, and I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to roll around and confuse Brandon Booth. That's what he's going to do.
And then what is the Pouring going to do?
Huh?
If I do that, what's the Pouring going to do?
Kyo TV also saying, please try to go to the final today. We will do that, definitely. It's funny. This is Phil from Hawaii. He's very good at trolling me in the chat. I like his style. And also I want to give a shout out to Phil in Hawaii. Oh, let's see if I can remember how to pronounce his name correctly. Phil I can't do it. I don't know. I just know that the E sounds are long A's. Kalelahula or something like that. I can't remember. It's a travesty. My name is Evans. I'm Welsh. I got 2 syllables. Evans. Did you know Evans is the Smith of Wales? It's the equivalent of like Smith. Yeah, it's the most common name. If your name is Evan Evans in Wales, it's like John Doe or Joe Smith. But it's not that we don't. Someone mentioned this on YouTube, and it may have been the same person, but we don't. It's not that we stop recording before the finals.
So people split.
The weeks that there are no finals is because players split. Now there have been, I think, I can count back to 2 instances where I left early because of extenuating circumstances and I couldn't stay for the entire thing. But if for every round of Magic that is played here tonight, we will be covering it.
Hello, Mr. Stone Ray. How's it going?
What's up? I'm gonna be so glad when the Acidic Slang rotates and never comes back ever again.
When Hell Freeze is over, because that'll never happen. they're gonna not put in a Acidic Slang and put it back in Mongolia Asinos.
What's Mongolia Asinos? He goes get a forest or something?
Yeah. 4 mana Acidic Slang to go get a forest.
Bro.
And they're gonna reprint Snapcaster whenever they do that.
This just in, folks. Our man on the street has... well, you've missed it while you were playing. We were making fun of Joseph for being a soulless ginger. That's basically it. Went over pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a common hobby. I've heard of that.
I was playing after kept throwing paper at Dorks in the Broom Closet.
We didn't miss it.
Someone's saying that the door sounds like a ring wraith from Lord of the Rings, which I think is funny because, like, in trying to like rib us for the condition of our door, basically, I don't know. I don't necessarily want to be the guy who's like, it sounds like a ring wraith from Lord of the Rings. As someone who is voluntarily spending my Friday night sitting in a broom closet with aforementioned Soulless Ginger and someone from The Matrix, talking about imaginary wizard fights, not playing imaginary wizard fights myself, but talking about other people playing imaginary wizard fights, I know that I am one to throw stones in a glass house. But that being said, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Get a little nerdy up in here. All right, what else is going on in the chat? Nothing? Is there anything else to talk about? Let's use this opportunity to go through my download folder for the week and see if there was any cool... Yeah, so we talked about... I posted this on the Facebook page today. Have you seen this, Garrett? The experiment one?
The promo?
Yeah. You guys might be old enough, but probably not. Do you remember something called a glowworm? There was a child's toy. It was like from a cartoon series, but the thing was called a glowworm. And it had like, it was like a worm, and then he glowed. That's what this thing looks like to me. And he was not menacing.
They were originally going to use that for a coiling article. Mm-hmm. But now it's just called it.
Is that true? No. But it very well could have been. Coiling Oracle's a card I would like to see reprinted.
Yeah.
And they can do that. There's no like, there's no keywords on there that would prevent it from being included.
Nope,
So.
it's just reel the top card.
But this is the September FNM promo card. So this month, this is the last week for Is It Charm? Next month is Rakdos Cackler, followed by, what's the one after that? Oh, no, that is, so it is.
It's next month is Demir Charm, and then Rakdos Cackler, and then
Experiment 1. Either way, those are the next three cards, Demir Charm, Experiment 1, and Rakdos Cackler. Cackler looks pretty good, too. I think I might just keep the regular pack foil one in my cube, but it looks pretty cool. So make sure you make it out to your local FNM for these coming up in September. I like that they print, I like that the promos have been, standard playable commons and uncommons that are like 4-ofs. That's what you want to see, is you want people to be able to pimp out their deck and well, but there was a period of time where they were picking cards that are modern legal but no one plays. I don't know.
I mean, there's been Call of the Conclave, which kind of sucks.
Yeah,
Getaxian Probe, I think.
Tech Edge sees a little bit of play in blue-white control decks in Modern, but not really. Here's what I was talking about. This was sent to us courtesy of Tommy Moles, a.k.a. Spike Mo, in the Twitch chat, so you should be familiar with him. He was at a Grand Prix Vegas, and he was the one who walked past the Ink Playmats booth and saw this at the bottom left-hand corner of their promotional poster. There's our Lost Legion future mesh mats that says, "Fantastic for streaming." Yeah. And I think all three of you can say from first-hand knowledge that it is fantastic for streaming. You played on it. You know that it's very good at holding the cards.
Yeah.
It's amazing Adam Vickers has not yet, not wrote it, but lost it somehow. I'm waiting for, let's see what else we've got here. My download folder throughout the week always becomes a pretty fun thing to check. Have you seen the, oh, here's, we were talking about this earlier. This is not necessarily going to be a reprint, but it's just fun to speculate on since it is showing up in Duels of the Planeswalkers. But Query Ranger with new art. Now it is possible, because Visions came out so long ago, that the reason they have new art is just because they don't own the art to the Visions Query Ranger. That's a very much legitimate thing, because I think it was around 5th edition that crossover happened, when they stopped doing the licensing, and they started just buying wholesale the rights to the art. Because in that, I was trying to explain that on the Facebook page about how 5th edition was that time when you started seeing staples printed from 4th into 5th edition but with new art. Yeah. And it wasn't because they decided to do that. It was because they legally could not use the old art because they didn't want to. That was a huge ordeal within the the Magic and artist community. They alienated a lot of the original artists. That's why you see people illustrating from Alpha all the way up to then, and then you never saw them again. It's because it was a lot of bad blood that went in with that. But money does that kind of things. So Query Ranger's super strong though. It'd be interesting to see if they reprint Archdruid. There was another elf card that they printed that they've announced they're going to print, right?
The Llanowar Elf.
Yeah, another Llanowar Elf. That's it. There's my passport application. No, that doesn't need to be on there. This is old, but it still bears showing. You might ask yourself, what am I looking at, Zach?
Oh, is this the...
This is what Matt Taylor made one night and posted on his Facebook. Not on his Magic Facebook, I just saw that on his Facebook. It is a calzone that is made on the outside of 2 medium pizzas from Papa John's, and the inside is 6 deep-fried hamburgers and 2 bacon weaves. Oh. It's look, I'm a giant man. I am disgustingly overweight. That being said, even I look at that and just too much.
I would die.
I like to eat. I like to eat, and I like all of those things, but I don't know if I like all of those things in that order. It is epic mealtime. That is obviously where that came from. What else did we talk about? We already talked about the scavenging ooze. I think that might be everything from this week. There's a list of all the valves in one of my gas storage fields that need to be replaced. Did we need to talk about that? That's showing up in my download folder as well. Oh, and these are fun. This will be the last thing we show, which is the stream fan regular Evilbeard. A couple weeks ago showed off his altered and signed Steve Arkyle Elspeth and Jace themed Liliana of the Veils. Which
Last time people kept saying that was Chandra, but I don't really know.
Is it Chandra? Well, she had. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
She does have. It's got to be Chandra because it has the goggles.
Okay.
Steampunk goggles. Did you see the? Are you a Felicia Day fan? Do you know who Felicia Day is?
I know who she is.
Well, they did. Wizards is having like some kind of like contest to like audition to be a planeswalker. I imagine they're having some kind of like cosplay contest or like stuff. Well, anyway, they had like a 3.5 minute like ad for it that they released today, and Felicia Day is Chandra.
Ah.
There's a link to that on our
mean,
Facebook page.
I can see her being Chandra, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't. That show that she was on, the web series, The Guild.
The Guild.
I didn't really enjoy that show, so I don't like her as much as everyone else because I just didn't really like that show. But she seems fine. You know what I mean? It's like I think you're fun. I don't really like your show, but I'm not going to.
You're just not a fanboy, I mean, but...
Uh-oh, here's your top
Top
8. Good luck, everyone.
Joseph.
That's the one we want right there, right?
Red Rose.
Well, we haven't had either of them on. Alec and Brett.
Yeah, we haven't had those.
Esper Control versus Jump. Aristocrat.